Good morning and welcome to ASI's Tuesday morning show where ASI's most outspoken editors talk promo products. I'm Melinda Lagos, editor-in-chief of ASI's magazines, and we have a cold Tuesday for you here in Trevose. I think it was 2 degrees when I went outside this morning. Kathy Houston, what's up with that?
My fingers were frozen and I had gloves on.
And you were just in the Cayman Islands a few weeks ago. Where would you rather be right now?
Guess.
What's in your mouth?
A cleft job. Because of this weather.
It's causing problems.
Andy Cohn, editor of Counselor, is here. You are working on the next issue of Counselor. What's the big hot news?
Yeah, the Hot 25.
Ooh, who's on it?
I can't tell you that. Please. Why would I tell you that?
I want to know.
It's the hottest people in the industry. Well, Kathy, you have ways to find out.
Yeah, I do.
Others don't.
There's one wild card, though. There's one wild card.
There's a wild card?
There is a wild
card.
There is a wild card that maybe we'll explain one day.
So we will be revealing the hot list when and where?
Yeah, we have it in the April issue of Counselor, and it's also at the Hot Party at ASI New York.
In NYC.
April 3rd, I believe.
Yes, well, you should
April
know.
3rd.
As king of the hot
The
party,
night
you
of
should
April
know.
3rd. Oh, I'll be there.
He is the king of
He
that
never
party.
remembers the hot
I
parties.
will be there in
Andy's high
all
holy day.
in all my degenerate glory.
Oh, all right. Thank God I'll have the camera.
Joe Haley,
You.
everyone's favorite managing
This thing doesn't
editor,
start till, like,
is here.
midnight.
I am.
Joe Haley,
Yes.
what's news today?
It's cold in Trevose. I don't know how cold it is because I lost my car battery. It died last year, and when they put a new one in, my temperature thing, thermometer? Yeah, that's what they call it.
My temperature thing.
My thermometer, it resets to Celsius. Andy thinks I should know by now what the
Can't
temperature
you
is.
do the calculations?
No. Oh,
So
God.
easy.
Can't you just
I
look
hate
at your
metric.
weather app on your iPhone?
I think
She's
Michelle
in my
Bell
pocket.
would know how to do that because,
Yeah.
she's a foreign traveler.
I would not, but I would hire somebody to do it.
Yeah. That $20 for that kid. to tell you
Michelle
how-
would pay $20 to anybody to do anything.
I really would.
Okay, well, we have a
Just an invitation for
great
all you out
show
there.
for you today. Today's show topic for Collins is are RFPs worth
Tough
my
to say,
time?
huh?
Are RFPs
What does
worth
it
my
stand
time?
for?
Request for proposals. Don't try to trip me up, Kathy Houston.
Can I tell you,
I was
how
saying,
we
almost-
got this? Because 2 different distributors recently have complained to me about what a pain in the ass RFPs are. Meaning, not that they're not worth it, but the amount of time and resources that they take. And if you're not a top 40 company with a lot of people to support you, it
Lot of
really becomes,
resources.
it puts a dent in your business. So that's why we're addressing that today.
Okay, so we'll debate that today. If you have an opinion or a question about RFPs,
About rough.
call us at 215-953-4979. Joe, if we put you on the show today, what will we give you?
The fabulous prize pack, $25 Visa gift card. You get the finger puppets, you get the hand fans, and you're going to get some drinkware that has the ASI Radio logo on it.
All right. And what else do we have on tap for today's show,
Well,
Joe?
all right. We have
Oh, my
lessons
God.
learned from
Matthew
Matthew McConaughey's
Woo!
Oscar speech.
Love him.
That was his very first line in his very first movie. Isn't that awesome?
Every time you try to do an accent, it's just awful.
It is. It's really bad. You're
Wasn't
not
that
an
from
accent
Magic
guy.
Mike?
No.
Daisy
Yes, it
Daisy
was.
Daisy
Confused. No, it wasn't, Kathy.
Who said it in Magic Mike?
He says it everywhere.
We also have 4 bad networking habits to break now. How to recover from an epic business fail. We're going to look at Warren Buffett's 3 practices for attracting and retaining top talent. We have 5 things that really charismatic people do. We have our favorite things. Well, let's get the show started with the industry news in 60 seconds. Andy.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We begin this morning with acquisition news. Supplier firm Apothecary Products has been acquired by investment company Norwest Equity Partners. Terry Noble, founder of Apothecary, will remain as an investor in the company. Financial terms of the deal were not released, but the company will operate with the same name moving forward. On to legislative news now. Representative David Camp provided a tax plan last week that contains a provision limiting the expensing of advertising costs to 50% the first year with the amortization of the rest over 10 years. Camp, though, included a measure that would exempt the first $1 million in advertising expenses. General economic news now. A new survey shows that lending to small businesses increased in January. The latest Thomson Reuters PayNet Small Business Lending Index, which gauges the amount of companies that are receiving loans from banks, jumped by 4% over the same time period last year. As a result, analysts expect economic growth to heat up over the next 2 to 5 months. More legislative news now. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder is pushing for federal legislation that would govern how companies react after suffering a data breach. Holder is asking Congress to pass a law that would force firms to more quickly alert consumers when personal information is hacked. And finally, make sure to check out the latest episode of The Joe Show and Promogram today. Joe, what is hot for today?
Fan hands. Not
Not
hand
hand fans, but fan
hands.
Actually, I kind of like that product.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like it
All
too.
right, thank you, Andy. We're going to take your calls in just a minute at 215-953-4979.
Struggling today, right?
I am.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Not just
Today's
me.
topic are RFPs worth my time, but first we have our Product Safety Minute with our friend from ETS Express, Leighton Lee. Good morning, Leighton.
Good morning, folks. I hope everyone's staying warm today. Today's topic for Product Safety Minute is not RFPs, which I define as a request for a pizza. But anyways, we're going to talk about battery-operated promo products. A lot of our items in our industry contain batteries, whether they be button cell batteries or might come already pre-packed with AA's and AAA's and other sizes. Batteries can be hazardous to children and as well as to adults. Let me list a few of the top hazards to consumers and children. Overheating is very common, especially if the polarity is mixed up and putting the battery in the wrong way. Leakage, if the batteries are left in an item too long or if it overheats, they have a tendency to leak. They also have a tendency to explode and cause fires. I've seen many recalls over the past number of years about batteries exploding and causing fires. Especially for kids, the choking on small batteries is a huge hazard. And secondarily, they might have a tendency to swallow that, which can become toxic to children inside their bodies. So what are some tips for all of us, whether we're a distributor or a supplier? First of all, it's mandatory that we always include instructions for installation and proper usage as well as disposal of all batteries in all of our products. We should also think about designing and making products that are age appropriate, the different types of batteries and the different types of warnings, especially for kids. And then battery enclosures. If we know that an item is intended for children, the battery enclosure or compartment must be fastened down either with a latch-type mechanism or small screws that require either a coin or a screwdriver to remove that hatch in order to prevent children from getting to the batteries. And as I mentioned, labeling and marking the battery compartments with the proper polarity and the size and voltage of the battery is paramount. That's required by law. Always remember, if a battery is considered to be a small part, it'll be a choking hazard to children. And always make sure that the product is designed and made for the proper age bracket of our items. And that concludes this Product Safety Minute for this week. I hope everybody has a great week.
All right, thanks very much. And that was our friend Leighton Lee from ETS Express with our Product Safety Minute. Now we're going to take your calls at 215-953-4979. Today's topic, let's see if I could say this without stumbling. Are RFPs worth my time? If you have a question or comment, give us a call now and online too. We have Sophie. Good morning, Sophie.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Great, thank you.
Good. Well, like Michelle was saying earlier, I get a lot of RFPs, and I mean it's just insane how many I have to do. And I'm just part of a small 3-person distributorship. I do all the RFPs, and since I'm a woman-owned business, I do get business from them, but they're just sapping so much of my time and resources that I'm getting frustrated. Do you have any suggestions?
Hire someone.
Anything
Well,
that
you do get business from them. I think that's a key
Sure.
because, and Michelle, you know, you've talked to a lot of people who go through RFPs.
Yep.
Can you tell if some are worth your time or not?
Can you tell off the? Yeah,
I guess if
think
you
I
knew.
think that some larger companies, it's almost rote that they have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go through the RFP process. They're mandated by their, the owners of their companies to do it.
Right.
I think, to Joe's point, I think that if you're a small business, it's easier to say hire somebody. I mean, that's a salary to bring someone on board. But maybe you could bring in somebody part-time just for that,
Sure.
that point, or even an intern, or maybe somebody who's retired just for that. I know a lot of distributors who just have someone on board, not a full-time position that handles responding to RFP quotes because they get so many. I do think that they're worth it, that you shouldn't just not respond to them out of hand. You have to kind of look at them. But if you're asking, is there a way that you know if you have an in to get one more than another, I would say if you're a women-owned business, you do. You know, you have more of a chance than other companies.
Right. Okay.
But I think that your best bet is to do them, but to get some help in. Maybe not full-time, but somebody part-time.
Okay.
All right. Well, hope that gives you some help, Sophie. Thanks, and stay on the line for your Visa gift card and your wonderful ASI Radio prize pack. On line 4, we have Damon. Good morning, Damon.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. What's
Good,
your
good.
question today?
My question is this. How bad does it look for me and my business if I decline to participate in the RFP process? Honestly, sometimes I just don't have the time, and in other cases, I just don't have the patience for it. So how does that reflect on me?
Well, you won't get the business. I mean, if you have to get the business,
I think what he's asking is, then in the future, will they come to him for other things?
Oh.
No.
I mean,
They probably won't. But if you're making that decision that you're okay with that, then I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't. My suggestion is not to just actually dismiss RFPs as out of hand. But if you've made the decision that they're too much of a drain on your business and you don't win enough percent of them to make it worth your while, that you want to focus on other things, then that's your business, and then you make that decision and move forward with it. And I would be okay with that if I were you. But the effect, the cause and effect, is that these companies probably won't be considering you in the future either, and that could be part of the deal. But it sounds like you're probably okay with that because these are companies that are going to be going to market with RFP processes in the first place, so you're not going to want to do that.
So it's a business decision. Now, is there a way to respond to all RFPs, but maybe in a small way to pique interest or gauge interest, and then? I wonder if there's a way to
I would
spend a minimal amount of time.
No, don't do that, because then you're sort of doing it halfway. And if you're going to do RFPs and you're going to respond, I think you have to jump in with 2 feet and make sure that you're doing it to the best of your ability, so that you're actually, providing more than what that RFP is actually asking for. They need certain specs and certain things responded to specifically, but underlying RFPs are that they probably also want ideas, and there are ways to do that. If you just respond in a half measure sort of way, I don't think it's going to work.
We have tons of Facebook comments, and we have one from Sandra Ilson who says, she said the line's busy, so she's sending this via email to hope to get through to us. She says that she thinks doing RFPs are contrary to everything that we like to do in our business, which is, one, having great relationships with clients. So what she's saying is it takes the personal thing out of building business, and making a respectable margin. She says RFPs are only price driven when wanting a particular item. So if you want to maintain a reasonable margin, rarely will you win the bid.
She's right about that. It is often, RFPs can be price driven. That's not always the case, in 100% of the time, but they are often price driven. And that is one reason why many distributors, like our previous caller, kind of just opt out of them. They don't want to play the price game, and that is what RFPs do sometimes resort to. So that is a decision that you kind of need to make.
Eric Campbell says we've had mixed results ourselves. We've often found that we get through RFPs and they've been formalities in which a favorite vendor is fairly well ensconced. Many is the time when we've had an organization that wants to play with billing and avoid the process altogether. Not that we've obliged them. All in all, I'm sure someone is getting those jobs, but I'm not always sure why, who, or if it's going to be us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so mixed commentary today on RFPs. Well, thanks for calling. You can still call us at 215-953-4979. We're going to pause for a message from today's show sponsor, Hanes, and when we return, we're going to talk more about one of my favorite celebrities.
Hanes Branded Printwear is starting the new year with a new website. Designed for promotional product distributors and screen printers alike, HanesInc.com features high-res product and lifestyle images, marketing materials, videos, upsell techniques, and helpful tips to help you increase your ROI. Our new website allows you to search for products based on colors or product line. Our wholesaler section helpfully lists all products that companies carry, as well as wholesaler contact information. HanesInc.com provides the best tools to sell quality products. Hanes is also proud to unveil the Nano Collection, complete with brand new vintage colors and new styles such as lightweight, ring-spun, fashion fleece. If retail fashion is what your customers seek, the Nano Collection is where they'll find it. Cheap shirts are cheap. Hanes shirts are better. Visit www.hanesinc.com.
Welcome back to ASI's Tuesday morning
The read
show.
of that ad was awesome.
Well, who is that sexy voice?
I don't know. Maybe we should put it up for
Let's hire her for ASI Radio.
for debate. First person to write in who that was gets a prize pack.
Okay, well, I like it. All right, so many of us watched the Oscars. First of all, we're going to talk a minute about Matthew McConaughey's Oscar speech. But favorite Matthew McConaughey movie? Andy, go.
Oh, I don't know. I'll be last at this.
Okay, Joe.
Dazed and Confused.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Kath?
Magic Mike.
I was
I
going to
knew
say.
you were
I was
gonna
going to
say
say
that.
Magic Mike too.
Michelle,
Dazed
Joe?
and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. Andy?
I'll go with
Bring up
Magic
the rear.
Mike.
Okay, did you guys see
I
Dallas
was-
Buyers Club?
No,
No,
I haven't
did
seen
you?
I
it.
did.
saw it a few weeks ago. Wow, what a great movie. And Jared
Leto,
totally
yeah.
deserved an Oscar for that as
Yeah.
well. Anyway, apparently we have something to learn from Matthew's Oscar speech. Kathy?
Well,
Matthew.
we do.
Wow,
Did
we're
everybody
first
watch his
name basis.
Oscar speech?
Yeah, well.
Yes.
He was looking pretty dapper, I must say. Okay, he said there's 3 things everyone needs. That's someone to look up to, another to look forward to, and a hero to chase. And by the hero to chase, he was talking about a future better version of yourself. Specifically, he said when he was 15, somebody asked him, who's your hero? And he said, it's going to be me when I'm 25. When he was 25, the person said, so are you your hero now? He said, no, it's going to be me when I'm 35. So his point is that you have this self-motivation. You're always chasing a better version of yourself, and that keeps you going.
All right.
That's
Andy.
basically sums it up.
Andy, is your hero a 50-year-old version of yourself?
Get off my lawn.
Get off my property.
You know,
A 50-year-old
no,
Captain Killjoy.
no.
What, you didn't like his speech?
I didn't. No.
Did you like his cream jacket?
Yeah, I liked the way he looked better than his speech. It was way too rehearsed for me, I don't know. There's
I think
something.
you're in the
There's something
minority.
high and mighty about that I just don't quite appreciate.
All right, Captain Killjoy. By the way, Stanley Appleman responded he thinks the voice that did the commercial was mine.
Stanley does
Isn't it
not win
Stanley?
the prize.
Wow.
Applebaum.
Wow.
Appleman.
I don't know if that's a compliment
Oh,
or an
different
insult. And I don't know who's the compliment or insult to.
Try again. It's somebody else
Got lots
at
of
this table,
sexy voices around
and
here.
it's not
Andy.
me or
It's
Joe.
actually Andy.
All right, Michelle.
Yep.
We've often said you're one of the company's best networkers.
Well, thank you.
But today you have some networking habits that people should break right now. What are they?
Yep.
And
Walking
do any
in.
of us do this?
You know, I'd like to think that none of us do the first one. I've never seen any of us do this one. But walking into a room and there's someone you want to meet with, and you see them across the room, but the person you're talking to right in that moment, you're not paying attention to them. You're looking around
Oh,
the
that's
room
so
to where
annoying.
that
I don't like
person
that.
is. I don't like it either,
No.
and it is really rude. And it makes the person, of course, that you're speaking with in that moment feel really marginalized and
agree.
just
Right.
awful. So don't ever do that. Number 2, I have never done this. I don't think any of us have either, but I've seen people do it in the industry, putting off networking until it's too late. For example, they wait until they're out of a job or they need your contacts, and then you hear from them
Comes
out of the
so
blue.
superficial.
It does come across as superficial and, in the point of this article, desperate. So the suggestions to kind of combat that are to stay in touch with your contacts not every week, but maybe every month, every other month. Your key contacts, maybe if they're local, go to lunch with them every few months. Just kind of keep your network active and don't just reach out to them when you need something. Number 3, some of us here perhaps do this. Network with only people like you, meaning at trade shows that you do not network outside of your own little group, that you just stay with your own little clique. And it's always
we're okay about that.
you're high.
No.
So we need to go outside of our group.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, okay. So we need to go outside of our group and bring in new people to meet and network with. And lastly,
New people?
yeah, I know, it's scary. New people. My God. You're too busy to follow up. How many of us have been to an event, and I'm guilty of this for sure. Actually, when I was at the PPPC show last month in Toronto, somebody gave me her card, and I didn't follow up, and she emailed me and called me out on it. She said said you'd get in touch with me right when you got back to the office, and you didn't, and she was right. So it's important that you make time when you get back from an event to reach out to the people that you just met, and don't let more than a week go by.
You know what someone did recently? Gave me a card that made me that I think is a really
Cry.
good idea. No, I don't.
Business card, not Hallmark.
is, it said their name, and on the back it said, we talked about blank, and they filled in what we talked about.
Oh, that is a
That's
good
a good
idea.
idea, yeah.
It's like, what a...
That's really neat.
So I couldn't forget, which,
Right.
you come back with the second business cards, and you're like, how do I know this person?
Yeah, that's
but
good.
I certainly won't
I
forget
couldn't
that
do
person.
that. I can't see. It's
You couldn't do what?
right on the back of a card. I wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to see
that's it. That's a whole different problem, Joe.
I know.
All right, but Joe,
Yes.
you're going to tell us today how to recover from an epic business fail.
An epic business fail.
Wow, this should
Okay.
be good advice.
It's a step-by-step method for dealing with and overcoming a huge failure in your life or career. First thing is stop complaining about it. You fail, everyone fails. Second thing is you got to take responsibility for it, too. Don't blame other factors. Don't blame your competition. Don't blame customers. Don't blame the market. Don't blame the economy. Take responsibility for your failure. You need to forgive yourself, too.
You know what, though? That previous one is a common thing in this market, especially for distributors. They often end up blaming customers for not providing the art in the right way.
Or suppliers.
That was my
Right.
next. Or suppliers for not delivering the way they were supposed to. And those might be factors, but like you said, you have to own it.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what?
your business problem.
And you should be advising the client about what type of art's acceptable. If you
You
get
sh- you
something that
certainly
you're
should.
like, no, we need something else, right? Be
That's
proactive.
right, Kathy.
Yes.
You know who I think handled a business fail spectacularly was Under Armour during the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
They
that
didn't-
was a
they didn't-
fabricated fail.
They did, but he
That was
handled it
not-
so well,
yes,
Kevin
he
Plank. He
did.
never blamed the athletes. He never blamed anybody. He just said, you know what, we're going to take a look and we're going to move forward, and we still support the team. And he doubled down and is spending more the next time on the Olympics.
Right.
Did you read that?
And
Is that with
yes,
the speed
he
skating
did.
uniform?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. But the difference with that, though, is that they actually didn't fail at anything. It was a PR thing from the U.S. speed skating team, which was a little ridiculous. But you're right. Their initial reaction to it was perfect. We may, if we screwed up, then we're going to go back to the lab and figure it out. But that wasn't the case in the end.
Well, and especially considering then it was a manufactured fail, then he could have pulled his money, but he didn't. He's spending more for the next Olympics.
Right. That guy Kevin Plank. He's an admirable leader. He's going somewhere.
All right, Joe, any tips? Any more tips?
Sure. You need to forgive yourself. You need to
We're
celebrate.
having a conversation here, Joe. We're capitalizing on your topic and we're expanding on it.
Celebrate
what we do.
Celebrate the failure, Andy, because not a lot of people dream big. They say not a lot of people do it. So you're doing it. Celebrate that you've tried something big, and then what you need to do then is debrief yourself. Look at what did I do that worked, what did I do that didn't work. Those types of questions. Then you need to recommit yourself to the plan. Okay, we're going to do this again. We're going to try this again, Andy. We're going to win this big client. We're going to do things differently. This is what we did wrong the first time. This we're going to do, but I'm committed to it. Are you committed to it, Andy?
Oh yeah.
All right. Create a
All
new
right.
plan, reality check your plan, and then, of course, you need to execute the plan. And by that, I'm not saying, I am saying go in there and kill it. You know what I mean, Kathy?
I do.
All right, we're going to have more tips on this at
No, you
asicentral.com/radio. We're going to pause for a message from ASI Education. We'll be right back.
Or another sexy voice.
At ASI, we know that education is the key to success, so we're excited to announce our newly reimagined online learning center. Log in and test the all-new intuitive interface. Share photos, stories, and communicate with other ASI members who are learning along with you. Expand your knowledge with wikis, discussion boards, and more than 350 courses, which include valuable marketing and sales information. And for your convenience, the Online Learning Center now uses a single sign-on access like your other ASI services. Best of all, it's free. Become an industry expert and see what's new on the ASI Online Learning Center at www.asicentral.com/online-learning.
I'm feeling flustered.
Joe, I just want to know. I just want to know how many takes it took to get the word wikis right.
Yet another wonderful addition to our program.
One.
It's
All
like
right.
Well,
it's
Vinny
like
recorded it. Actually, we did too. We did too.
All right, he's someone that Michelle and I have both seen in person at his famous annual shareholders meeting. But Warren Buffett, he's a smart guy with money, but he also apparently has some savvy ideas for attracting and retaining top talent, doesn't he, Andy?
He sure does. Let me run through a few of these, and most of them, all three of these tips are relatively similar in the sense that it discusses the idea of being humble. So let me run through them, and you'll see that. The first is to communicate pride and confidence in your people and about your people. So he is constantly not only talking to his own people about how good his employees are, what they do well, and why they're successful. But also he's communicating that externally to others about why his employees are successful and what they do well. And that just makes a sort of sense of pride throughout the whole organization. So that's really the first thing he does, and he tries to do it constantly. The second is to be civil and respectful of all, not just his employees, but people he meets on the street, people who want to talk to him, at a meeting. He tries to be respectful and civil to everybody, and he's essentially just confident yet humble. So he tries to approach every conversation he has as essentially not being above anybody that he works with or meets, and that kind of just gives out this air of as I said, being confident but also very humble about what his surroundings are. And the last is to be open and honest with your people. Let employees know that they can ask you questions and approach you with challenges and questions that they have about the business or projects that they're working on. He tries to, open door policy is kind of trite, but that really is the way his management style is, and he tries to speak with people every day about what they're doing. So that's pretty much what he does, and it works for him.
All right, Michelle, you were just in Omaha, one of my favorite cities.
I may be going back this year.
Yeah, last spring for his meeting, but I assume that you would concur that that's sort of his style. I mean, he sits on stage for about 8 hours.
In a rumpled shirt, no less, by the way.
Yes, drinking cherry Coke and answering anyone's questions, and he definitely does not have that holier-than-thou
He
mentality.
does not. He looks like somebody's grandpa who just woke up out of bed and is answering questions, to just the rank and file in the room. David Garthwaite, by the way, sent an email, so get the prize pack ready, Joe. He says the voice has to be Kathy Houston.
Ta-da!
Congratulations, David. He knows your voice, Kathy.
Yeah, how do you know my voice, David?
It's the only one that sounds like that.
Kat, you are on this show every Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right, Michelle, we have just 1 minute for this topic.
Topic.
We have a topic today. Today's tapioca flavor is you're going to tell us some things that charismatic people do.
Yeah.
So
who do we know who's really charismatic?
You.
Everybody. Oh, well. Thank you.
Joe Haley's waiting to accept that.
I'm humble, too.
Charismatic people exude joy. The
Matthew
first thing you
McConaughey.
notice about charismatic people is their spark of life. Whether they are saviors or troublemakers, they have a strong passion that triggers powerful emotions in those around them. Even in anger, they make people feel happy to join a cause. There are 5
you
of
said
these.
this was Michelle.
We're only
You
gonna
said this was Michelle.
We're only going to talk about 3 of them. Charismatic people are great storytellers. They are great raconteurs for sure. Think of somebody like a Dan Towns or a Mitch Munger or somebody like that. People don't follow someone simply because they are told to do so. Moving someone to action requires context and motivation. Stories are the most effective way to get to the emotional core to break inertia. And lastly, charismatic people connect empathetically. It's been said that when Bill Clinton speaks to you, he makes you feel that you are the one and only person in the room, and this is a talent of charismatic people. So the point of this whole thing, and again, we'll post this online, is that if you really want to connect with both your clients and your employees, that you can work at these things. Charisma is something that can be built. It's just not something that you're born with.
And I would like to make a comment about the happy one because I sent several emails to Andy Cohen last week, and I put a happy face on it. And I think he was anti-charismatic because he complained about the happy face.
Why?
Captain Killjoy.
It wasn't that. It was the out of character emoticon that
Out of
suddenly,
character
that
because I don't
suddenly
ever would
appeared.
put a happy face.
Not the emoticon, no.
Okay. Well,
Hadn't
I
seen that
always
one
do.
before.
I put them on
right,
all
that's
my emails.
different. That's
And
coming
that's
from you.
why they call you
Unfortunately,
Captain Killjoy.
that's different. Coming from her, I hadn't seen that, and then suddenly there were a few in like one day, and I said, "Okay, enough with the happy face
'Cause I'm
emoticons."
happy.
all right.
So-
And on that note, we're going to wrap up the show with our editor's favorite products of the week. Kathy, why don't you sing us out?
Mine is a very happy product. It's a laughing stress reliever. It's a cute little guy, and when you squeeze him, he goes, ha, 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 ha.
Perfect.
Isn't that cute?
That's a
Oh,
great
it's from Ariel Premium Supply.
Wait, what does he say? What does
He
the
goes,
guy
ha,
say?
ha, 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 ha. And
She kind of did sing it.
I like
a
that.
little bit.
Andy
And
looks so
it's
disturbed.
Hello, ASI 36730.
I'm going to
Thank you.
buy one of those for Andy.
I would like that.
Keep the happy going, Andy.
All right. Mine is a portable chargers have become huge in this market. So this is a portable charger that features an extra large LED backlit logo. Check it out online now at asicentral.com/radio. It's available from Brand Charger, and that's ASI 88751.
Joe.
Coffee pods. They're called coffee pods, not K-Cups. You get the whole pod itself, gets a wrap on it. You can get it individual. You buy them at 100. You can buy boxes of 18. What a great way on,
Isn't that kind of a... Yeah. Does that go in your Keurig?
Yeah, it goes in your Keurig. What a great leave behind when you're going to visit your clients, or potential clients. Leave them with a box of coffee, as Kathy would call it. Everyone likes a good hot piping cup of coffee in the morning.
I like a cup of Joe.
You can get this web company, ASI 95383. Find them online at web2bscompany.com.
Michelle.
Yep, mine is from Logomark, logomark.com, ASI 67866, and it's a 2-in-1 tool. It's a stylus for touchscreen devices and a microfiber screen cleaner. It's like the size of a little credit card that you can just stick in your pocket. So we have that online on our website.
Great.
All right, all those products can be found at asicentral.com/radio. Thanks everyone for listening, and be sure to check us out this month. Damon John from Shark Tank is going to be on the show soon.
Ooh.
So check us out. Kathy, do you want to happy us out?
'Cause I'm happy.
Okay. Great way to end the show. Have a great week, everyone. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.